This is Georgia Economic Developers Association new member orientation. We also call it GEDA 101. I am Maceo Rogers, GEDA Chair of the Membership Engagement Committee. I'm also the Director for the Department of Economic Development, City of East Point. I was just sharing a little bit about my history in that I've been primarily focused on the Metro Atlanta area, but I've also had some time down in Middle Georgia in the Macon-Bibb County area in terms of economic development. And of course, now I'm in East Point, which is one of the cities in South Fulton doing economic development there. I want to thank you all for joining this year's new member orientation. This is actually the first one that we've done this year. It has been a relatively upside down, I should say, year for us because as an organization, because we've had to do things a little different, but we are getting through it. And also I want to acknowledge Mr. Kevin Shea. He is the president of GEDA, and also Ms. Kelly McClendon, who is the manager of member services here for the organization. So it's great to have y'all on, and we will get through this, and we will take questions at the end if there are any. All righty. Okay, so, oops. It's not going anywhere. That's interesting.
You should just be able to use your right and left arrow.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. It's stuck for some reason. Let me stop and start again here and see if we can do that once more. Let me try this and see if this gets it better. Okay, now let me, there we go. All right, so very good. So just a little bit about the Georgia Economic Developers Association. Of course, it is the leading organization for economic development here in the southeastern United States. It was founded in 1963 as a nonprofit 501c6. It is the place for professional economic developers to engage and to really come together to find out about latest trends, practices, best practices, and the state of economic development, not just locally, but throughout the state, the nation, and of course, as a whole, the world. It is the mission of the organization is focused on networking, professional development, public policy. And again, this is the place that you come to really engage. And of course, I should say that we are, in fact, our members. Just a little bit about our leadership. This year's chair is Mr. Chris Pumphrey of Douglas County Economic Development Authority. First vice chair is Miss Andrea Schurer, Valdosta Lowndes County Development Authority. I knew I was going to botch her name. Second Vice Chair, Sean McMillan, UGA Office of Economic Development. Benji Thompson, Bullock County Development Authority, and of course our immediate past chair, Ms. Pat Merritt, Georgia EMC. One of the things that we talk about is, of course, involvement. And getting involved with GEDA is one of the best things that our members can really do, because it is where they can be exposed quickly. They can really activate their interest by getting involved with the various committees that we have. And so this year's committee, of course, chairs. We have several committees, business recruitment. The chair of that committee is Mr. Charlie Mosley of Georgia Power, Development Authority Executives Committee, Cal Ray of Augusta Economic Development, existing industry, Sarah Hall of Covington Newton. And I think you mentioned her earlier, William. Membership engagement, of course, is myself. The nominating committee, Missy Kendrick, who for Rome Floyd County Economic Development. She was also has been a past chair of the organization. The nominating committee, the professional development committee is Miss Megan Baker, Fayette County Development Authority. Public policy, Dan McCray, CFOF Shaw. And of course, our special services awards is Molly Olson, Burke County Development Authority. And sponsorship is Justin Forquay, Development Authority. And of course, again, these are committees that you can easily and quickly get involved with. It's just a matter of doing so. And of course, I'll tell you about how to go about doing that here shortly. We also have what we call shared interest groups, and SIGs for short. These at one time were part of that group that I just mentioned, but because they are specialized areas of interest, we've broken them out now into their own groups. And of course, the Education Workforce Development shared SIG group is shared by Dr. Barbara Wall. Department of Education, Marketing and Communications, J.R. Charles of Carroll Tomorrow. National Natural Resources Environment is Rap Forbes, Thomas and Hutton. Non-traditional economic development, Christy Gribble of Fannin County. And of course, our P3s, Public-Private Partnerships Redevelopment, is Travis Stegall, City of Brunswick. And Research, Sarah Cranes. And of course, Rural Development is Sarah Stafford of UGA. And of course, our Young Professionals is David Dennison. So these are all areas that you can easily engage with just by volunteering. And of course, again, by volunteering, you really quickly wrap up in terms of not just your knowledge about the organization as a whole, but certainly about the things that we're doing, how we're impacting economic development throughout the state, throughout the Southeast, and of course, throughout the nation. We'll talk about some of the recognitions that and awards that the state has received in the past years. Public policy, GEDA will influence public policy through proactive education. And I just kind of touched on that. By getting involved with the organization, you get a chance to really see the workings of how we impact economic development for the good of the state, for the good of our communities, and for the good of each other, because again, we have really networking opportunities that are second to none. Our public policy initiatives, obviously our education is really the thing that gets us up and running and makes us knowledgeable so that we can do our jobs better. Our public policy consulting agency is Cornerstone Government Affairs. Camilla Nolan is one of our GEDA members. Of course, Jeff Hamling, Sally Kilpatrick, and Jerry Urshery are partners that we work with on a regular basis. And they, of course, keep us up to date and in tune with the latest public policies that may impact our efforts as economic developers in one way or the other. So we make sure that we remain close to the pulse on a daily basis through this group and through our efforts. We do have one upcoming event, which is our November monthly meeting, which is Monday, November 16th, and it's our annual awards. We'll be doing it virtual. Again, this is an unusual year for us, so the things that we're doing now in many cases are our first time around. And so as it goes, this will be our first time ever doing an annual awards virtually, but we will do that. And we are finding that the format really works out A-OK because we're still communicating and we're still able to share information. We're still able to get the word out and we're still able to see each other. We're just doing it virtually. So that's coming up and certainly hope you all will make plans to be a part of that. Where can you find out more about us? Well, we have a fantastic website and you can go there and find out about membership registration and renewal. Again, get involved with our committees, whether it's one of our standard committees or one of our SIG committees. You can also become volunteers just by volunteering and signing up to be on one of those committees. Whichever way you want to go, we have something there for you. And it's just always a good time to get involved because again, you better yourself as economic development professionals, you're in tune with what's going on, not just within the state, but you also get more grounded. And certainly I believe within your own community, because now you have information that is flowing fluidly and you're able to utilize that and to your advantage. Take that back to your leadership, share it with them, share it with your colleagues and your community leaders as well, so that everybody then is a part of this whole umbrella and network of economic development. Job Center is another area that you can find out information about. We have a photo gallery that has photos of past events, spring workshop, annual meetings, various luncheons that we do. We have an acronyms page, a GEDA newsletter that comes out. Kelly is responsible for that. And we have, of course, a lot of other good stuff. So the website is packed with information. You can always go there and pull up and retrieve information that you might want to find or know about. We do what's called an awards recognition function and feature, and we do this every year. And I will go through these a little bit more in detail, but let me just tell you what they are. We have what's called the Rip Wiley Award for Professional Excellence, Governor Zell Miller Public Policy Leadership Award, Volunteer of the Year Award, Honorary Life Member Award, Deal of the Year Award, and of course, Committee Chair of the Year and Committee Member of the Year. These awards are given out yearly, and it's based on the outstanding work that our members do towards this profession, towards this industry, and we want to give them the recognition for those things that are simply outstanding. So, for example, the Rip Wiley Award for Professional Excellence. Now, this is an award that was given to Mr. John L. Grinnell Jr. of 2019. And of course, it recognizes GEDA members with at least 10 years of economic development experience, professionalism, honor, integrity, their commitment, their leadership, hard work, and contributions to the profession. The Rip Wiley Award is really based on H.W. Rip Wiley himself, who was a director for Georgia Department of Industry and Tourism back in the 70s and before. One of the things about his hard work is that that makes him such an exemplary individual. Back in 78, prior to his passing, he was in the intensive care room when he ordered that his briefcase be brought to him so that he could work. And of course, with that kind of dedication, you don't really find that on a regular basis, but he displayed that. And of course, in his honor, the Rip Wiley Award for Professional Excellence was named after him and on his behalf. So that just gives you an example of what that's all about. Now, I will say that, current members, of course, current members, I should say, are not, they are not eligible for this particular award at this time. It is based on their years of service moving forward and as they commit themselves to the profession. As I mentioned, you have to at least have 10 years or so with respect to this, and that's how you get that acknowledgement. The Zell Miller Public Policy Leadership Award. This, of course, is one that was named on behalf of one of our former governors, Zell Miller. He did a lot for economic development. He believes that sound progressive public policy is essential for sustaining the quality of living and the quality of economic development in the state of Georgia. And of course, this award was given to U.S. Senator Johnny Isaacson in 2019, just last year. You have a laundry list of others that have received this award as well over the years, but it just gives you an idea that these individuals were committed to this industry, and of course, again, they got acknowledged for it. Volunteer of the Year Award was given to Henry G. Gaynor, Jeff Davis County. And this, of course, was last year as well. And this really looks at, again, those individuals who want to be involved with various committees that I summarized earlier. Once you sign up and you really dig in, you roll up your sleeves and you hop right into it, you really get noticed in terms of your proactiveness, your engagement, your involvement. It's hard not to notice hard work. You have a love, you have a passion, and when that comes across, it shows. And you better believe that someone is always watching. And so this is something that, again, we share and we give and we award those volunteers for outstanding service to the Economic Development Organization. The Honorary Life Member Award. Now, this is one that, again, recognizes, again, long service and dedication to the organization of GEDA. Those efforts that are tied directly to the purposes of GEDA. And of course, you have a list of those going back to 1976 that have received this award. It was given to Mr. Robert Shaw of the Development Authority of Fulton County in 2019 for his year's dedication and commitment. Deal of the Year. Now, this is an award that we give out to communities, the companies and communities that they serve. In 2019, we had the Checkmate Industries in Thomasville Payroll Development Authority. There are basically three categories: small, mid-sized, large, and regional, which really makes it four. But you can see that these companies that are displayed here in 2019 and 2018 were the recipients of these awards. And it is based on, again, the size, which I don't have the actual breakout numbers before me that defines that, but we can certainly share that with you at the end of the presentation if you have a question about it. But this is what you can do to get your communities involved. If you have a great project that you want it to be highlighted, this is the way to do it. It really takes into account what you, as an individual, as a company, as a community, went into getting that company to locate or expand in your area. And now you want to highlight it, spotlight it, not just for yourselves, but throughout the state. And so this is one area that we, again, award for that outstanding deal making, deal structure, how you work together for the greater good of the community to make that award happen. Committee Chair Member of the Year. This is one that is, again, everything really pours back into the passion, the commitment and dedication that individuals display when they get involved with GEDA. Justin Fuqua, Sponsorship Committee Chair highlighted last year for his fine effort in raising a lot of funds for the organizations through the sponsorship committee. Now, that meant that he had to make a lot of phone calls. He had to do a lot of meetings. He had to do a lot of texting back and forth, but it paid off. And it put the organization in great standing so that they can continue doing the things that they do so well year after year after year. And of course, you see the others in 2018 and 17 as well, member of the year. Again, this is a member who stands out based on services, getting involved with a number of things such as our annual conference committee, volunteerism goes, and it speaks volumes to those folk who really roll up the sleeves again and get involved in terms of the organization to help move it forward, but also to do a very good job in being ambassadors for the organization, because you reflect who we are when you become a member. And you can be our greatest asset in terms of telling others who may be less familiar about who we are and what we do as an organization. So by getting involved, by becoming a member, then you become that person, that ambassador that can help us move this organization forward and to celebrate all of the great things that it do. And you're talking about it then tells others about it, or lets others know what we're doing. And then that obviously in many cases triggers a lot of interest to where they want to get involved as well. Here's just a list of our past chairs and presidents. 2019, Pat Merritt. She is our immediate past chair, which you got to see at the very top of the presentation, but you have a list of others going back to 1964. Longtime service, commitment. These are individuals who have chaired this organization moving forward from one year to the next. Accolades for Georgia, of course, Site Selection Magazine, we're in there a lot. We were ranked 7 years in a row as a top US business climate in Site Selection Magazine, most recently in 2019. Top state for doing business in 2020, Area Development Magazine. And this again, of course, also for the last 7 years. And then of course, America's Top States for Business, number 6 in 2020, CNBC. So again, the state of Georgia has to be doing something right to get these kind of accolades and the recognition. And it goes without saying, we have industry professionals who are out there making this happen, and being involved again in this organization is a plus. We offer really certifications that are channeled through this organization, such as the Certified Economic Developers certification. Gives the opportunity to develop core competencies across the breadth of topics necessary to be well-rounded and successful. You can go anywhere with this and do economic development. The principles are all there, you understand them. This is a great plus for those that want to go for certification. The Economic Development Finance Profession, EDFP, 4-year course, a training series covering business credit, financial analysis, loan packaging, negotiating, and deal structuring. And also the Georgia Certified Economic Developer Program, training on practical topics in Georgia that can be immediately applied within your community to achieve economic success. So we have a certification that is just meant for the state of Georgia, that is crafted specifically to make you that successful economic development professional that you want to be, that you wish to be here in the state. And I think this particular program certification has been in place now for about the last 3 to, actually, I think longer than that, maybe 5 to 6 years, but it is a very good program, and certainly encourage those of you that are on the meeting today to look into it, look into all of these if you want to be certified in these areas. This is just a number or a list of members who are GEDA members that have their CECD certification here in the state, but again, more specifically, that are members of GEDA. So we do track our members. We want to support them. We want to promote them in any way that we can through the organization. And of course, this is a list of those that are certified, again, that are members of GEDA, but also in the state in terms of EDFP. And then, of course, for those that are the CET, Certified Economic Developers, that are also members of GEDA, and of course, tracked by Carl Vinson Institute of Government, University of Georgia. And what can I say? The other thing that makes GEDA so wonderful, I mentioned how we want to and how we like to support and promote our members. Well, we do provide grant funding, scholarships for professional development. So it's not that we just say, hey, go out and get your certification. We know that it involves time, commitment, but we also know that the bottom line, it involves money. Money for the sitting for the exam, for example, money for getting there, wherever it may be, money for the travel expense, money for food and lodging. So all of these things you must take into account, because it could be in the state of Nevada, or it could be out in Texas someplace, or it could be right here at our back door, right here in the state, right here in the city of Atlanta. But again, it takes money. So GEDA offers scholarships for the annual conference, as well as the spring workshop, the UGA Economic Development Certification course, International Economic Development events, training sessions, annual conference and also sitting for the CECD exam. Economic Development Institute, Georgia Tech Basic Economic Development course. It has been around for many, many years. I took it back in 1996, great course, would certainly encourage if you hadn't done that. Community Development Institute, International Trade Missions, Create Your Own program. So there is support for you in terms of professional development if you want it through this organization. You can contact Kevin Shea, who's also in the meeting today about this. His number is 404-962-4109. or kshay@georgia.org. No reason not to get involved and be hesitant, because we have your back. We do believe in supporting you. Opportunities. Again, we want to thank you for those that are already members. If you're not a member, we want you to become a member. If you have anyone that you know of that has come to a luncheon, or that has come to an event in the past but not be a member, then we encourage you to share with them your experience and talk it up, or invite them as a guest. And perhaps they will become a member today or tomorrow. But we certainly, for those that are involved with economic development, we want them to join our community. It is a great, great community. Can't go wrong. Again, I've been a member since 1996. Don't know what that says about me, except that I believe in it. I trust it. It has served me well. And of course, now I believe in giving back and trying to help encourage those others who might want to get involved and be the same. So opportunities are there. All right, so what did I miss? At the end, we know that the only stupid question is the one left unasked. So at this point, if there are any questions, certainly we will take those. As the comic there to the left, Society for Asking Stupid Questions. Excuse me, is this the Society for Asking Stupid Questions? So again, We believe there's no stupid question out there. The only time that there is the one that's never asked. So at this time, if you have any questions, we welcome your questions, and I will go ahead and now um, stop my share screen, and we can get back to everyone and see if you have any questions. And let's see. It looks like we have someone here. Thanks for being here. Okay. I don't know if there are any questions, but I see that most everyone is muted. If you have any, we'll take them now. If not, we certainly want to thank you for your time. And again, I want to thank Kelly for setting us up, and also Kevin for being available for the meeting today.
I have one question, Mason.
Yes.
For you. The non-traditional economic development committee, what does that entail? What is that about?
So again, those are specialized committees that we have involvement, but it's not one of the bigger groups that are considered drivers with respect to the membership. And you can participate in those, the SIG committees, you can participate in those just as you do the regular meetings, but they are really kind of tied to bigger groups, but it was hard to really kind of segment them to where they were standalone. So we decided to make them SIG groups so that we could still maintain momentum. But for those who wanted to really focus on those particular areas, they could do so. And Kevin, you might have something that you wish to share about that as well.
Thanks, Maceo. Sure, be glad to. And William, it's really for traditional economic development is probably more sites, buildings for manufacturing, distribution, office, those kind of things. And so this would probably entail a lot of others, whether it be film, tourism, small business, entrepreneurialism, placemaking, a lot of different kinds of things going together. And I will say that it's been a fairly active SIG over the past couple of years. We're not going to have that one going forward, that particular SIG. It's going to be sort of incorporated into the P3s and redevelopment. So there will still be some interest, but it will be focused in that particular SIG, shared interest group. Each year, the chair will look at their committees and SIGs, and sometimes they make changes. So this coming year, we won't have the non-traditional, but we will have the P3s and redevelopment.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Maceo, just a couple other things. I wanted to sort of highlight a few things before we finish up today. I mean, if there's still other questions, we'll be glad to entertain them. But one thing I'll say is that some people will say GEDA, and some people say GEDA, some people say GEDA. It's not any requirement, but I'd say most people will say GEDA. And we did a sort of a fun poll, I guess, a couple of years ago. And we asked how you pronounce the name, and probably 80% of the people said GEDA. But you'll hear it GEDA, GEDA, all kind of different things.
Yes.
And another thing I'll mention is that I heard somebody the other day call us the Georgia Economic Development Association, as opposed to Developers Association. And the significance there is that we are a professional society of individuals. So even though your organization may pay for you to be a member of GEDA, you are the individual that has that membership. So it can travel with you from organization to organization. Certainly there's some times where it's sticking points where, like, if you join in January and then you decide to leave and go somewhere in February, we're probably gonna have to work with the employer on that. But it is the individual that has the membership. And so mention that it's the Economic Developers Association as opposed to Development Association. Another thing I'll mention, is there anybody on here that's joined from July on through now? And the reason I ask that is that we typically have a an issue with membership. If somebody joins, our membership is on an annual basis, a calendar year basis, and it's one fee for the whole year, whether you join in January or you join in June. We used to have something, we still do, that if you join in July and go to the annual conference, which is in Savannah, then your membership would go through the end of next year. So if you joined in July and went to the annual conference in September, your membership goes through the end of 2021, as opposed to this year. And the board recently decided that we would allow for somebody joining in July forward for their membership to go through the end of next year, even if they don't attend the annual conference, because this year we didn't really have one in person. We did have one sort of several calls that we had. So that's something that we'll be sending out some information to those who have joined since July. And another thing I'll say is that, as I mentioned earlier, for the non-traditional economic development, the chairs sometimes change things. And so I'd say read the newsletter. It's not too long most of the time, and you can go through it fairly quickly. We try to get it out the first week of each month, and sometimes we're successful. Mostly it's Kelly and me, and then we have some help with our chair and some proofreaders and that kind of thing. But if you ever have anything you want to put in the newsletter, whether it's an item of recognition or article or what have you, let us know. We'll be glad to consider that. But you can see what's going on with people, with events, with organization, with the change. For instance, last month we had, or this month, we had some information about the new office and new board members for this coming year. And I want to congratulate Maceo on being a new board member for next year. He has been very involved in this organization as a board member in the past, as well as chair of committees. And so just take a look at the newsletter and see what's going on there, because we try to list new projects. We try to list personnel changes, other things. The chair has an article there, upcoming events or recent events. So there's a lot of different good information in there that you can look through fairly quickly and see what's going on within the organization. And if you're not getting the newsletter, let Kelly know. Kelly is our manager of member services and keeps all of you straight, and more importantly, me straight. So we appreciate her and what she does. So Kelly can help you with your profile. I'd say update your profile as well. If you change jobs or change your physical address or even email or phone number, make sure you update that on the website. And it's fairly easy, but if you have any problems, Kelly can be able to help you out. The other thing I'll mention is that Cornerstone is a group that's been very active with us, Cornerstone Government Affairs. It used to be that we were more of what I call a monitoring organization at the Capitol, just watching legislation, what's going on. With the hiring of Cornerstone 3 years ago, that marked a significant change where we're a lot more active with trying to influence public policy. And so that group helps us primarily in the area of defense over at the Capitol, but even sometimes in offense when we have to promote something. So it's a great group. And in fact, I was just talking with them yesterday, and they're very effective for us. So we hope that they can also engage our members more in the future as well. And there's a question here from D. Williams about published contact for SIG leaders and officials available. You can go online to the website and look at information there about, and I think Kelly just may have put some information in there about where to look for that information on the website. Okay. And you can always look there for information, but if you have questions, Kelly or I will be glad to entertain them, whether it's through phone call, text, email, what have you. Just a few other things I wanted to mention. Go ahead.
I just said thanks. Thanks for touching on that.
You're welcome. And Dee, where are you based now?
I'm based in Duluth. And so we are a technology kind of business expansion consulting firm. We help companies really broaden their sales capability, revenue generation capability.
I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you. Something's happened with the volume.
Hang on, let me put my headphone in. Hang on one second.
Okay. And while you're doing that, let me mention just a couple other things, and I'll come back to you. But Maceo, I also wanted to mention, he is, I call them CECDs. Some people call them CECDs, Certified
Yeah.
Economic Developers. And Maceo, it's not an easy thing to get, whether it's a CECD, CECD, or CED, or EDFP, any of those. And so we encourage people to look at it, and we have help to try to achieve that, not only financially, but also through encouragement, helping to train and study and that kind of thing. And so it's a great organization. In fact, we had somebody, William from Perry, just received the Certified Economic Developer designation this past week. Her name is Ashley Harden, who works for the city of Perry. And so she passed the exam, which is a fairly rigorous exam.
Yes. Totally agree, Kevin. But once you get it, it's a badge of honor because you put the time and effort into it, and it's all worth it without a doubt.
It is. And one other thing I'll say about the Georgia program, the University of Georgia program, is that we were involved from GEDA in helping them to get it off the ground back 6 years ago, like Maceo said. And so we're still involved to this day. And it's something that for those organizations or individuals that might not have the budget or might not even have the interest in trying to get something that's the international certification of CECD or the something like that, it's really more Georgia centric, and it's probably more affordable. I think the courses are probably instead of I don't know what the IEDC charges, International Economic Development Council charges for their program, is probably about $700 or more. Then you sometimes have to travel to get there. You have meals and hotels and that kind of thing. Within Georgia, you still might have to travel, but it's probably not as far, and usually a little bit more reasonable cost. And so that program is relatively new, but it's something that still helps you learn a lot at the state level. So it depends on what your interests are, but that's a program which is very effective, and we're very pleased to have been involved and are still involved to this day.
Absolutely.
So let me go back to you, Mr. Williams, about your
Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear me better now?
Much better, thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. So I was saying we're based in Duluth, and we are a international consulting company that helps organizations expand into various foreign markets or foreign vertical markets, shall we say. And I do have a stupid question, so forgive me. Because I sent an email, and I can't remember to who, but one of our clients right now, they have a very amazing product that we're already working with. For example, the city of Miami, the port of Miami, all of our US-based cruise lines, as well as the city of Tampa. I don't know if you guys have heard of a company by the name of Brightline, but they have the MARTA train system that extends from Miami to Orlando. They're also building the train system that will ferry passengers from LA into Vegas. And a specific solution that integrates into HVAC systems to remove COVID and other bacteria and pathogens from the atmosphere upon contact. That technology is USDA certified, it's EPA certified, and what they call certified organic, meaning it does not have any toxic chemical interaction with humans. So we just put out a 300-unit proposal for Lynx bus system, which is the MARTA bus system for the city of Orlando. And so I was curious where and if you thought that may have a application either through GEDA or within some other municipality. The Atlanta airport is already looking at a video that we sent out. And we're working with the Chamber of Commerce to promote via their platform the technology. But I just wanted to get you guys' opinion to see if you thought that would have any significant, kind of dovetail opportunity within GEDA programs.
I don't, and what's your first name?
I go by D. My first name is Demiki, but I go by D.
All right, D. Well, thank you. I don't know if there's any specific application within GEDA. I think probably the best benefit to you within GEDA is the networking opportunity, which is somewhat limited right now, unfortunately, because of the COVID, but and virtual meetings. But to be able to meet people in different organizations around the state, whether it's at the state level or at the regional and local level, to be able to talk to people and get introductions to people that might be able to help you out to spread that word. One other way I'd say is that it's more international, but there is the International Trade Division here at the Department of Economic Development. And I say here because our office is within their offices in Midtown, which is where I am right now. So that's possibly an opportunity internationally. And then perhaps even through GDEC, through the Georgia Department of Economic Development, they might be able to help point you in the right direction to some other organizations. They have a small business person here that is named Lindsay Martin. And Lindsay might be of help to you to reach out to other organizations that could potentially help you with business leads or development of business opportunities there.
Understood.
I was just going to echo that, Dee. GEDA provides a really numerous opportunities for direct connections to sources that might be able to help you, but in so many other ways, it provides indirect connections that, as Kevin has stated, may not necessarily be your source right there within the organization. It might point you to outside, but you made the initial contact by being affiliated with the organization that got you to that point or led you to that point. So if you can't find that direct source within the membership, there would certainly be other ways of getting you to that point outside of the membership, just based on the fact that you made the connection within. So I fully agree with that, because that's a driving force without a doubt in terms of the networking opportunities and what they lead.
Okay. And I'll mention a couple other things. One is that, first of all, does anybody else want to introduce themselves, their organization and what you're doing? You're more than welcome to if you'd like. If not, that's fine. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, had a question from Alan about the EDFP program, the Economic Development Finance Professional Program. And that information is provided more as a service. It's not anything that we're involved with directly. But EDFP is a program put out by the National Development Council, which is a separate nonprofit corporation. And a number of Georgians, as you see, have that designation. It's very rigorous related to finance. I think it's 4 courses, and I don't know if they have an exam. I think you finish the 4 courses and you get that designation. I will say that occasionally GEDA will have a discount offered by an entity. I think the last time it was maybe 2 years ago that a bank, BB&T, had offered a discount. Instead of the normal cost of attending, which is probably over $1,000 per course, they offered a discount, which was only $100. I mean, it only cost like $100 or $200 to attend. And at the time, I think it was, thanks, William, I appreciate that. They do have an exam. But they had it also, I think, in Hilton Head and maybe Jacksonville, which were fairly close proximity to Georgia locations. So there are some opportunities occasionally for discounts through contacts that we have through GEDA. So it's a great program. And also within the CECD program, the Certified Economic Developer Program, there's at least 1 course on finance as well. And I think that is something that's required when you go to take their exam as well.
Yeah, and the other thing that we alluded to with respect to preparation through our professional development committee, in the past, we've certainly facilitated those candidates who are planning to sit for the exam, some sort of training workshop that would at least give them, preparedness tips that they could utilize and benefit from. And so there's a great resource there with respect to that committee. Again, we've not had the opportunity to do that sort of thing this year, just based on where we are. But throughout the organization, for those folk like Kevin and myself and others who've gone through this certification process, if you have future plans for sitting, any of us would be happy to share with you our experience and what we went through to prepare for the sitting of the exam as well. So lots of resources, just a matter of tapping in.
Yeah, I will say that the CACD exam probably has a pass rate of in the 30s, anywhere from low 30s to high 30s, depending on when you look at it. So it's
Yes.
not an easy program, but if you study, it makes a difference. And it's amazing to me how many people take it without even studying. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. And then what I'd say also is that we do have money, but it doesn't typically pay for the overall cost, but it does make a dent, particularly when you look at like the basic economic development course, which is held at Georgia Tech. I think their fee is $775. That's what our scholarship is for. So it doesn't pay for, say, travel, rooms and meals, that kind of thing, but it does make a significant difference for budgets. And so there's still money left over for this year, although it's the year is going by very quickly. So if you're looking at attending a course and want some assistance, I'd say apply. Not everybody gets approved, but I will say that we typically don't give out all of our money each year. So if you're interested, definitely apply, and there's probably a good chance that you'll get funding, at least in part. And the amounts range from probably $500 to $1,000, depending on the type of program or course you're looking at. So it certainly is something that helps out.
And one thing also about membership. I mean, whereas we are a nonprofit organization, and we are truly devoted and dedicated to those economic development professionals. Each month, when we have our meetings, we will have a list of those that want to join, but we also like for them to be sponsored by someone who's already a member. And so it's not just a straight direct, I can sign up and apply and you just automatically get there. We like to have someone sponsor or vet them or know something about them in terms of their background, so that we know that these are truly devoted individuals to the profession, because that's what makes us better in terms of what we're doing.
Very good. Any other questions before we finish up today?
Well, very good. Well, again, thank you all for joining in. We certainly appreciate the time. We know that we're all busy with various schedules, but the fact that you took this time from your busy morning and schedules to join in lets us know that you really wanted to understand a little bit more about the organization. We appreciate you for doing that. Certainly, I appreciate Kelly and Kevin for your time. Kelly for setting this up. Kevin for certainly chiming in and answering some of the questions here. And for you, William and Dee and Columbus and others, Alan, we appreciate you for being here. Do not hesitate and calling on any of us. Dial in to Kevin, Kelly at the at headquarters there for any other things that you might have in terms of lingering questions, and they'll be happy to respond to you without a doubt. So thank you all again. Hope that you all have a great day. And if that is it, we will say until next time. We'll see you again, hopefully in the future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.